Hello, if you're like me and you're strapped for space and you grow your early potatoes in pots or buckets, then there is an opportunity to get more than one crop from that pot in this growing year. I've done it for a few years now, and I'm going to show you how I do it, and then perhaps you might want to give this a go. But if you're going to give this a go, you need to do something right now if your early potatoes are starting to look like this. If your early potatoes are chitting up like this, you're going to be wanting to be planting them in a week or two's time. Am I right? Yeah, you're going to want to be planting them in a week or two's time. I'll just show you how I plant them very quickly, but they're not going in today because it's too early in the year, but I'm trying to give you an heads up so that you can make these preparations if you want to get those two crops on one bucket in the same year. Let me just move these to one side. Okay, so I grow in these ex-cut flower water buckets. They're 10 inches, 10 inch diameter, 10 inches deep. And I simply put 2 inches of soil in the bottom of this bucket. Sit one of these seed potatoes, these early potatoes, on that 2 inches of soil, then top it off. Top it off with soil. Stand it outdoors. Now I know through experience that these potatoes are going to take about 4 months before I get a delivery. Okay. Now when you buy seed potatoes, you don't get a timeline. You don't know that. You know that through experience, and I've got that experience. So what I'm saying is, after planting this, I know that in 4 months' time, fingers crossed, in a fair growing season, when I turn that pot out, I'll be eating my own new potatoes. But at the same time, I also know that I'll have 10 litres of used soil or used compost and an empty pot. And I also know that we'll still be in the middle of our summer here in the UK. So it's an opportunity to do more than grow just early potatoes in that pot. Let me show you what I am going to be doing very shortly, and I suggest you might want to do the same. This is a packet of celery seeds. I've also got some onion seeds, and I've got some leek seeds. And at the end of this video, I will post on this table a link that will show an end result. So I'm actually showing you in this video how to go about starting this, and if you click on the link that I'll pop on this table at the end of this video, it'll show you a likely outcome. Okay, so this is some celery I'm going to be growing. It's a celery called Giant Red. I'll pop a picture up on the screen of it now, just in case you're not getting a good look at this. Okay, that was Giant Red. Now what I'm going to do is, I'm going to look at the back of this packet where there's lots of information, and I'm also going to pop this up on the screen so you can get a closer look at it. I'll turn it around so I can see it now. And what you get on these packets of seeds, and you'll get it on the onions and you'll get it on the leeks, you'll get a timeline that runs across the top that tells you when to sow seeds indoors, when to sow seeds outdoors, and when to harvest. Okay, I'll pop that up on the screen now, take a look at that. And also in the text below, it'll tell you when to plant these out, if you're starting them indoors, and what depth you should be sowing them at. Okay, have a look at that now, and then come back to me. Okay, so what have we got here? Right, well these are 3 yogurt cartons. And I've already filled these with compost, with soil. And then what I've actually done is, to get a flat surface, I've cut a disc of card and I've simply pressed it down. So that gives me a nice flat surface. Okay. Take this card back out. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to sow some celery in one, some leeks in another and some onions in another. Okay. And this is simplicity itself. But what I usually do first is, I usually spray the surface with some water. Okay, I'm not going to do it on this video because it'll make it too long-winded, but it's easy enough explained. So we spray that surface with water, we get that surface nice and wet. Okay, we open our packet of seeds, put them in the palm of our hand and sprinkle them nice and gently on the top of that soil, on the top of that compost. Okay, then what I tend to do is use the knife or a matchstick and just separate them so that I get a reasonably even distribution. I then take the water spray again and give them another spray, a gentle spray, because we don't want to blow them all to one side. So take it easy, a gentle spray of water, and then I'll take a handful more of soil or compost, pop it on top like this, take it off with my finger like this, put this card back on, press it down, and that makes sure that we get a good contact between the seeds and the compost. Then give it another spray, pop the ticket in. Okay, now then, where's all this going? Well, now we've sown some celery, some leeks and some onions. We're going to keep these indoors and we're going to grow them on. And we know how long it's going to take, roughly, because it tells us on the packet. You've already seen that timeline. Right. We don't get timelines with early potatoes, but we know from experience that in 4 to 5 months' time we'll empty that pot out. We'll have the soil, we'll have the compost, we'll have the pot, we'll have the bucket, we'll reinvigorate it with a slack handful of fertiliser, your choice, some sort of basic Grom or Bloodfish and Bone, anything will do, maybe a proprietary Union fertiliser. Mix it all up, pop it straight back in the pot. These will now have plants in them that might be so tall. These have been growing on indoors, okay, but for the last month, and that's the month before we know we're going to be harvesting potatoes, we'll have probably stood these outdoors to harden them off. Let's move these two out the way. Let's pretend this is a pot of onions. We're simply going to squeeze it, take the onions out, pull them out as a bunch, break them out and plant them in that pot that has just delivered all those new potatoes. And that is then going to grow on for another 3 or 4 months outdoors. Those onions, those leeks, that celery will mature in that 10-inch water bucket outdoors. And then in the autumn, winter of the year, you're going to be harvesting celery, leeks or onions. How good is that? How good is that? 2 crops, 1 bucket full of soil, same growing year. It can be done, but you need to sow these now and they will be growing on at the same time as the potato plant is developing in that bucket. And when you empty those potatoes out, these guys will be ready to go. These guys will be waiting to be planted up. Couldn't be easier. I've done it. And furthermore, I'm going to move this off this table now. I'm going to put you a link on here that'll show you an end result. Okay, so I hope you've enjoyed this video. Oh, by the way, just before I finish, for all those people that have seen the Molly's lump video, where I've had the lump removed from Molly, I did make a valiant attempt to reply to everyone, but I've actually been overwhelmed. The response has been overwhelming. I just couldn't devote the time to get that response in. And furthermore, Molly's learned a new trick. If you're a dog owner, you'll know that dogs like to come and nudge you all the time. Well, as I'm typing these responses to your comments, Molly puts her head under my arm and lifts it off the keyboard when she wants attention. So she's been interrupting me as well. But I've got to tell you this, she's making a grand recovery. A grand recovery. Okay, click on this link, see an end result. Catch you again. This is Homegrown Veg, signing out.